Hello and welcome back to the channel. I am going to get right into this subject. You are looking at a post by Smokey Norful, okay? In the post, there is a picture of him and his 16-year-old son. The post reads as follows. Smokey Norful says, by far my favorite part of today, my 16-year-old baby boy, who's my height, climbed in my arms and went sound asleep like when he was 16 months. Didn't want it to end. Never do they want to be my little babies anymore. Couldn't tell if my oldest son, Trey Norful, was waiting on his turn or saying, what the heck, with his expression. And my mama was concerned with one thing only, kissing her grandbaby. Moment over. And then he goes on to talk about how thankful he is and what a priceless moment. Now, let me get right into it, family. And I want to say this right up front. When I saw this, I thought this was one of the most beautiful things that I had seen. But I am very surprised at the backlash that he is receiving over this very, very intimate moment. Now, one thing I will say, in today's environment, it's probably not a good idea to share these type of family moments because the internet is filled with people who have vicious, ragged thoughts. Okay, people are entitled to their opinions, but sometimes you have to take a step back and analyze why you feel the way you do about something so beautiful. Now, some of you say, I never get into scripture on this channel. And I always direct you and say, well, look, most of our scriptural content is on our Watchmen Reports ministry channel. Okay. I am going to share some scripture with you today because it is very, very pertinent to this conversation. Okay, for those of you who think that this is suspect, those of you who think that this is wicked, is very uncalled for, you think that he's making his son to be feminine. Okay, someone actually attributed this to feminism. I don't know how you can say feminism in this. I've seen so many comments, and some were actually saying that this is effeminate. So I think the person who was likening this to feminism was probably meaning to say effeminate. Okay. Anyway, I don't want to try to decipher what people meant. All I can go off is what people said. Another person made a good point. They said that they noticed a lot of people who are of the secular community, they saw it more as a beautiful thing, a shared moment between a father and his son. But a lot of religious people, especially among the so-called Hebrew Israelites, they were noting that they were very, very against this. They were very just bothered by the whole image that Smokey and his son presented here. They were bothered by it. They thought it was something wrong with it. Now, I know many of you are my friends on Facebook, okay? This is not against anyone personally, but I want to reference some scriptures that one of our elders posted, and someone else posted some scriptures as well. And I agree with our brother Leonard. He posted many scriptures, and again, some others had posted scripture as well, to basically show that there is absolutely nothing wrong with this. Okay. Now, we do understand that the current environment that we live in the world has changed. We understand that, but not everything can be labeled as vile, especially something as precious as this. Again, I must reiterate, I thought this was so beautiful. I thought it was so beautiful. And I don't feel like he's trying to turn his son gay just for hugging and embracing his son. I just don't see that. And I don't see how people are coming to that conclusion. The person who I saw originally post this, they were asking for the opinions of fellas only. But of course, women responded as well. Okay. And so that being said, this young man is blessed to have a father who loves him and cares for him. Many would give their life for this type of relationship with their dad. Some would be lucky to get a high five from their dad, you see. And so it's got to be understood that not everything is vile in nature, family. Not everything is vile in nature, and we shouldn't treat it as such. Anyway, I'm going to cut right through all of it now, and I'm going to get to some scripture so you can understand that the way we respond to things sometimes need to be put in check. And that's all of us. Sometimes we need to just take a step back before we respond to some things, okay? I'm reading these scriptures in love, family, so please don't take offense if you were one of those who opposed this brother allowing his 16-year-old son to fall asleep in his arms. Okay. This one is Luke 15:20. It says, "And he arose and came to his father. But when he was yet a great way off, his father saw him and had compassion and ran and fell on his neck and kissed him." That's just one family. This father was so happy to see his son that he ran, had a heart filled with compassion, ran and kissed his son as he fell on his neck. Here's another one, Acts 20, verses 1 and verses 37. And it reads as follows. "And after the uproar was ceased, Shaul, or Paul, called unto him the disciples and embraced them and departed for to go into Macedonia. And they all wept sore and fell on Paul's neck and kissed him." These are our ancestors we're talking about here, family. These are men running to each other and kissing each other. And there is no funny business going on, either in action or in their minds. Here's another for you. Jasher 32, verses 56 through 57. "And when Esau saw Jacob running toward him, he also ran toward him. He embraced him, and he fell upon his neck, and they kissed, and they wept." Now, for those of you who don't know, Jacob and Esau were brothers. They were brothers. Okay? And so let me continue on to Jubilees, chapter 22, verse 26. "And the two lay together on one bed, and Jacob slept in the bosom of Abraham, his father's father, and he kissed him 7 times, and his affection and his heart rejoiced over him." For those of you who don't know that your father's father is your grandfather, I want to bring that perspective so that you understand. Jacob slept in the bosom of his grandfather, and he kissed him 7 times. And his affection and his heart rejoiced over him. No funny business, family. There was no funny business. This was real and true love minus the funny business. Do I need to continue? I think I will. Jubilees, chapter 31, verse 23. "And he made the 2 sons of Jacob sleep, the one on his right hand and the other on his left. And it was counted to him for righteousness." There are several other references, other scriptures that also talk about the affection that fathers and sons share, or grandfathers and sons, even mothers and daughters. Nothing foul, nothing wicked. Unfortunately, in today's society, everything is branded as wicked. Now, I understand those of you who said that some moments are not to be shared publicly. I agree with that. And this is the reason why. Because your good can be evil spoken of. That's the reason. I think moments of love should be able to be shared. But as you see, good is being evil spoken of. This very innocent, beautiful act of love shared between a father and his son has been turned into a disaster, because that's how society has shaped the minds of people. Society have us just so bothered. A lot of people don't have their fathers in their lives, so they don't have a reference point for this. So instead of them seeing it as something beautiful, they see it as something wicked. And even some who have fathers think that it's something wicked that happened here, when indeed this was something beautiful. I can go on and on with this subject, family. I didn't want to speak too long on this. I just wanted to share my 2 cents in that I thought this was a beautiful show of love that this son and father shared. I thought it was just so adorable. And I don't think in any way, shape, fashion, or form that this will cause the boy to be effeminate. I just don't see that. Okay? I mean, other things can cause that, but this isn't one of them. This will not cause you to be anything. This shows that you feel confident enough in the love that you share with your father that you're willing to do such a thing. I do want to know what y'all think in the comment section. I already know many of you are still going to say, well, you think that this was, something that looks suspect. You're still going to feel that way. You're entitled to your opinion. Okay. But at the end of the day, none of us can truly say that we know for sure what is in the hearts of those 2 men, the young man and his dad. Okay. Share your thoughts in the comment section. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, share and like this video, and with that, I am out. Be sure to ring the bell to be notified of new uploads on this channel, and also comment, share, like, and subscribe.